Blessings, everybody. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. We've been having some issues this morning, and that is okay. Come on in. I'm only going to be here for a few moments because I want to make sure that the computer is optimally working, that things are working as they should, because what I don't want is to begin giving you a message and it be interrupted. So there are a few things that I need to weigh in on really quickly. I need to go through here and identify where this problem is lurking, where the problem is lurking. So what this, I put in the room, in the community room, and if by chance there's ever an issue on the page where you're expecting me at a time and I don't show up at that time, then go to the community room, which you will find on the main page for Rock Mogul Ministries. It is a side where it talks about videos, live, all of that. There's a whole bar, like a browser bar for the actual Rock Mogul Ministries YouTube page, and you'll see all the way towards the end the community link. And if you press that, then you'll be able to identify. Because what I was trying to do this morning, I realized I couldn't get on. When my computer opened up again, I was trying to get to that community room to see if I could post something in that room in hopes that it might show up for you on your feed, because you're already subscribed. So if you're not subscribed and you watch this every day, then that you potentially won't get whatever that is if I'm sending something in the community room. But nonetheless, we've been on a journey, and come on in the room. Those that are coming in, I'm only going to be here for probably 11 minutes and 11 seconds because I'm not going to try to jump into something heavy this morning with the technical difficulties that I'm having. I need to suss them out, okay? And so what that brings to mind is I put in the title, The Hidden Enemy. There are times when we are not aware what we're faced with or what we're being challenged with. The beauty of this is that no matter what we're being faced with or what we're being challenged with, if it is an external adversary, good morning, Elder. If it is an external adversary, we've been seated above it. One of the issues is a lot of times what people are dealing with is internal. And so what I want to speak about this morning, just for a moment, we understand that we have external battles. This is an external battle that we're having this morning. For me, it's an external battle. However, for the computer, it's an internal battle. I'm just trying to give you a dynamic here. For the computer, this is internal. For me, it's external. But I want to give you a mirror of that so that we can just kind of examine some things. I noticed I was on a journey, and where I was set up, and I did one of the days I was late, right? And the second day I was on time. But one of the things that I noticed while I was in that environment was that once I plugged into the outlet in that space, my computer was doing something different. It's like none of the outlets worked optimally. None of them worked. So I don't even know if, and then my cord kept overheating, just like it is now. All right. And the funny thing about it is that it's overheating, but it's not lit, but it is finally charging. Now in that space, it was not charging. I was on 10% perpetually. I was on whatever percent it was I was on that perpetually. As long as it was charged up, I was okay. But then I closed the computer and it got an opportunity to charge up. But when I would open it, it was dying down really fast. So it's something going on between how it's being charged or what's going on internally, because what I was facing this morning was a constant spinning when I was trying to set up things here, a constant spinning. So I want to go into that mode where we are taking a look at what happens when you're in that mode where it just looks like you're constantly spinning. What is that? Why are you being stalled? We talked about this a little bit the other day when I was talking about that perpetual hovering over the landing spot, not being cleared to land. uh, not being able to land the plane. Well, here's the thing: we got to take a look at what's going on internally. What are the battles? What are the enemies that are internal? Because a lot of our enemies, the majority of our enemies, are internal, and they start with what we think about things, right? They start with what we think about things. Um, and so we're dealing with the mind, which is the hard drive, which is a computer, right? And this could be, well, for me, the hard drive is not the issue. However, there could be something on this computer. So I won't say that that's not the issue. I know it's not the issue in the way of it's going to be shut down. That's what I do know. But I do know that there could be something interrupting the processing because it keeps stalling. And then there are things that I'm using, like the browser that I'm using. So I'm speaking quickly in some terms to identify what the Father is discussing with us. There are some issues with updating my browser. This particular browser that I'm using is saying that I'll need the next version of my computer to use the version of the browser. So there's an issue with browser ability. Okay. When we look at browser ability, we're looking at something that can allow you access to search engines and look at pages and all of these different things. So now I'm putting all these things out because these are based on hard drive. These are based on your internal and your ability or your inability to browse properly, to search properly, and all of these things, right? Prophet Marlise, if you can just speak 1 minute on what you're hearing me say this morning, and then we're going to just pray over the people, and I'm going to let you guys go because I don't want to try to hold you long. I want to identify what this issue is so that we can continue our journey. But there are often hidden enemies, and I was talking about connection still about connectivity, how things are connected. That matters to how things are going to work. How things are connecting matters to how it's going to work. So a lot of times when things aren't working, we're questioning why they're not working, but it's not that they're not working, it's that we're not working. You understand what I'm saying? So we've got to search it out because there's a hidden enemy there somewhere. Sometimes that enemy is fear. Sometimes that enemy is disbelief. I'm likening it to this hard drive. Sometimes there is a bug. There is a virus. Sometimes there's something there that is consuming the processing and not allowing things to be properly processed in order for the right outputs to happen. Prophet Marlise, go ahead and share something really quickly.
Yes,
Get off at 11 minutes and 11 seconds. And it's 8.
yes, good morning. It just takes me back still to the vision I had about the hands in the circle. And there were some, because the person wasn't speaking or wasn't doing immediately what they were supposed to do, or that this particular agreement was taking too long. Some people were taking their hands out of the circle and just throwing their hands up. And in the dream, the Holy Spirit said, "Tell them no. Don't you take your hand out. Don't turn away," because I was getting ready to go too. And so, because I was thinking, "Oh, this is nonsense." But he says, "No, don't take your hands off. Don't remove. Stay in the game. Stay focused. Don't take your hands off. Don't take your hands out." And so I encourage the others to come back and put the hand back in. He said, regardless of struggle, trial, temptation, regardless of issues, keep your hand in, because there's victory and you
Yeah,
will receive victory. And so that's one of the things I hear. I want to encourage everyone there, out there, to just please, what you are started on, the course you started on, don't give up on it because of struggles, trials, tribulation, issues, halts, delays. Do not stay the course, stay focused. Keep your eye on the promise and the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. Keep your eyes focused on the task. Don't let it go. Do
yeah,
not let her go.
yes.
Amen.
Amen. We're going to let you go here in a minute. I wanted to talk about the mysteries this morning, but when you're dealing with mysteries, you got to deal with capacity, right? So the computer doesn't have the capacity this morning. So search yourselves this morning as we are, embarking upon the identifying of this issue to come back tomorrow, to go back into uh, these days of kinetic prayer. This is still kinetic prayer, and this is still where are we? This is still day 83 of the prayer and day 78 of the fast. This is what today looked like. Now that doesn't mean that there was no victory today. Victory is yours, elder. Victory is yours. It's all about how we see a thing. It's all about that. Because if you notice, when you get your mind set on doing the right thing concerning your body, and you go through those steps and you're consistent with that, the shift happens. But if we don't deal with the enemy in our mind, because there are enemies there, and enemies sometimes are still connected to familial connections. Sometimes because I'm telling you, I was in a space, I plugged into their outlets, and I'm telling you, not even their outlets work right. Things were just broken, just not operable in that whole space. And I'm like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? But sometimes there is a halt because of what we refuse to release. Okay, so we've got to deal with that. We got to deal with the things that we're holding on to, the things that are in our hard drive, the things that are interrupting the operability of the operating system. So I love you guys. We got you covered, Ellie. We'll see you tomorrow. The body's not a me thing, it's a we thing. Peace.